I am one-on-one all day long. I talk to however many people that walk through my door. I'm just entertaining. The thing that's hard is learning more to, to give back to my people so that I'm constantly learning. And then just doing the actual business requirements. I need to get with my accountant. I need to do this, taxes, whatever the thing is, making sure all the bills are going through. Like, so that's been something that I've been really trying to work on to incorporate that. But I currently right now I coach for about 5 hours. I start at 5. And I coach for about 5 hours, and then I take a 9 to 11, like Savannah time. I go play tennis or whatever it is, and then I go again for another 7 hours.
9 to 11 in the morning. So not you're not going all day.
No, yeah, I go 5 to 9, and then I'll do a couple days a week. I'll go play tennis for a couple hours, and then I go 11 to 6.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you started a business in the pandemic, right? Any lessons that you've learned in hindsight?
It's the greatest thing I ever did. Did you know that a lot of people didn't want to go to Gold's because of other people, or Gold's was shut down, but what I didn't have to do was shut down because it was one-on-one sessions. And then other people were just like, oh, it's just me and you, and no COVID is in here. And I was like, sure, that's what it is. There's no COVID in here. So it actually it actually worked really, really well for me. I start, home gym. Home gyms started popping up everywhere. Everyone's trying to work out at home because they don't want to go home. Well, good news. I do online programming, so I program for you at home if you don't want to leave. So
Has anything changed since you started to today in terms of those kinds of offerings, or?
No. The greatest thing that's changed is now that I do so much coaching. I have hired a nutrition coach. So I still have a handful of nutrition clients, but I trained up a girl, got her certified. She's just excellent at being your support team. I'm very like, lift the weight, go, let's go. Like, I'm going to be here for you. I'm going to make sure that you do it right. But I'm way more direct. And she's like, it's okay. We got this. And so that's been she's been a really great addition to my team. So now when people come on for nutrition, not unless they specifically say, I want to work with Savannah, they're going to Brittany. And that has been a huge load off of my back for doing stuff like that.
So you've been able to scale a little bit. By hiring Brittany.
Yep.
And just what's the future hold for you then? What are you?
That is a good question. I don't have another me. So that's been the number one, like, what do I do? So we've looked at Jody's businesses. Jody and I's business, Bodyworks, has nothing to do with each other, but they just go hand in hand. Not necessarily that I break them, because I don't, but we break your muscles down. She might need to get in there and get some massaging going or cupping or whatever the thing is that she needs to do. All the while, someone's never heard of me. They come to Jody and they go, I want to be part of that crazy music in the background, or nutrition coaching. They didn't know that there was a nutrition coach in town. So the two businesses have gone together really well. We both want to scale up, but at the same time, both of us are like, let's take a deep breath and enjoy this. Because like right now, yes, I get to go play tennis in the middle of the day, and try to calm my mind. As soon as I don't know that I want a gym.
Yeah.
You've been there.
Yeah.
It's a studio. It's very one-on-one. I've never been to anything like it. You walk in there, it's me and you. We've got dumbbells. I'm going to put music on. But you don't have to worry about all the other 37 million people that are at a Gold's Gym. So it's it's been this like, what is the correct way to scale it up,
Mm-hmm.
right? So we want a little bit larger space, but at the same time, we have to. At the same time, we're trying to take a deep breath, slow it down, and just to kind of enjoy the growth process.
Excellent. Well, looking back on your journey so far, even what do you have any advice or anything you would tell somebody that was wanting to start a business? What do you think you did really well, and is there anything you would advise?
Your biggest advice, or like I don't know if it's advice or a warning, is that you're going to work a lot. You're going to work a lot. But it is the most passionate work you'll ever do because you just care about it so much. The other bit of advice, and I don't even know how to tell you how to do this, is to get good clients, right?
Yeah.
That's been just such a blessing for me. I have the best clients. My whole business growth has been word of mouth. I really haven't, I've got a great website. We try to do social media, keep some of that stuff, like really fresh pictures. We'll do apparel, stuff like that. But everything has been word of mouth. And I don't know if that is just an Abilene thing. I don't know if maybe people like my training, well enough that they're telling other people. So as far as the growth in my business and how fast it kind of happened, I don't know. I'm just blessed.
That and if you deliver good quality services,
I'm the best.
There you go. That doesn't hurt, especially word of mouth and things. But and I think that the other thing I'm hearing in your story along the way and stuff is that it's something you love doing and you're passionate about. And even what I'm curious about too is you had the support of your parents to do this. So the riskiness of starting a business, sometimes the fear is what holds people back from doing it. Being passionate, being willing to work hard is part of the ingredients that go into baking this cake.
Yep.
Is there anything else that just you can look back on and go, this was the deciding factor or moment that I was like, you know what, I'm gonna jump off this cliff?
It was kind of a really rough conversation between me and my mom, but she was just in this. I worked with my dad and I worked hard, but I didn't love it. And I think she was trying to give me the push. She was being a little bit of a jerk. But she said some stuff to me that I was just like, fine, bye. Like I said, bye, and I was done. And it's probably been the best thing that she ever did for me, because I just wasn't growing, as a human. Like no matter what I did, no matter what my dad did, I was always the daddy's. This is my dad, the owner. Yes, I understand that I work for my dad. Like, and so it was like nothing I did ever was like, you did good. You know, it was like, oh, she did it because it was her dad, or whatever. So that was just always war on me, and I just didn't like it. And finally it was just like, all right, like I give, and I'm gonna go and I'm gonna try something else. So, which is what I've had this dream and this goal for a very long time, and just being able to actually like take the jump is just dad just made my life very comfortable, and that was I'm very thankful for him, but it was also a major holding me back. Right. So
so describe the dream you've had that you said you've had for a long time. Is it obviously owning the business
right
is assumed there, but is there more to it than?
No, well, if you would have asked me when I was working for my dad, all I would say is I just want to work out at 9 a.m. That's all I want to do. I want to work out at 9 a.m. And so I did that. So 9 a.m. is my time every day. I don't coach anybody. But one of the first things I said, all I want to do is spend all day in the gym. I just genuinely love it. People learn so much about themselves while they're in the gym. Sometimes it's people's 1 hour a day that they get to take for themselves, and I get to spend it with them. So I really try to make it fun, and I do my very best to every single time that someone walks in to just be happy and to know that they're about to, work really hard, but at the same time, we're going to have fun. Like, I do not believe in some workout that leaves you crawling out of the gym and you hate it every second and it's just the worst thing, it's just the worst thing in the world. No, like we're gonna have fun. Like I just like to have fun, and so so I wanted to create the environment of that. Someone at one point taught me how to work out, and I've just always been very appreciative of that. And so that's like my way. Every day when I get done, I'm just thankful and I feel like I did good for people. Whereas selling a copier, I was like, I don't care if your printer doesn't print. I do not care, And so, but now I can feel like, I've done what I'm supposed to be doing in the world.
There's real ownership and purpose
Yep.
that you're fulfilling and you serve. And there's been people along the way. I mean, it sounds like the parents have been a good and bad push and a hindrance. And then Jody, so finding other people that network and you have synergy with is good. Brittany's come along.
Yep.
What other people, is there any other people that have played a role in this for you that has been either key or maybe you're missing?
No, it's one of those things I was saying, my clients, I just have some of the greatest clients that just truly believe in me, and they're like giving back to me in ways, they're thankful for me, even though I'm billing them. Yeah. They're thankful for me for showing up, and just like one of my things is that I will not cancel on you. If you show up at this time, I will be there. I think just finding that, because now I've been working with some of these people for over a year, my turnover rate is not high. And so now it's like, well, I hang out with this person at 3:00 every single day, or every other day. Now they're just my friends.
Yeah.
So, I've been lucky with how some of the jobs that some of them have, like one of them's trying to help me find a house right now. One of them takes me shotgun shooting, so we just have, but because he takes me to go shoot, I've met all these other people, so we've just had one of them's the tennis pro at the country club. So we barter and I get to go play tennis,
Cool,
so,
yeah.
it's just the people make it.
That, you think that's an Abilene thing, or do you think that's Savannah's natural magnetism and chemistry? What is that?
Yes.
Okay.
I do think there's something about me, because I am a little bit straight to the point, and sometimes not especially in Abilene, not everybody's like that. And I will play music that you wouldn't normally hear at a gym, but what's fun is that people just go, they like it. They think it's fun, like it's different. But no, I do think the people of Abilene are very, it's a good place.
Good.
Yep.
And that wasn't a baited question to
No,
to
I will tell you all day
Abilene,
long.
but
I will tell you all day long that Abilene is cool.
Yep.
Amarillo is cool. It's too windy.
Yeah, and Hereford blows in
Yes.
sometimes. So, my wife's from Amarillo, so I can say that. But so you've got a good business. You've got things going, I guess. And the thought I had too was, tell us a little bit more about. You're talking about clients, so that's another person that plays a role in all of this. Mm-hmm. What have you done to, do you have any guardrails up or any doors or fences to make sure you get the right clients? What do you do to target the right clients?
This is going to sound terrible, but yes. I have an 8 a.m. class that is composed of stay at home or, just your Abilene Real Housewives of Abilene moms. And I'm very protective of who comes in and who comes into that group, because for whatever reason, these 8 women get along so well, have so much fun, so there are certain things, like I do kind of vent some people before if they're going to join a class. I do vent that a little bit, because I'm like, your personality has to go with such and such and such, you know. As far as personal training, no, I'll take on anyone, but the classes I do, that sounds kind of rough, but it's to protect them, it's to protect me, because I don't, if you come in and make these two mad and they leave, well, you just cost me a whole bunch of money.
Yeah.
So I do kind of do a little bit of that.
No, I think that's wise. And there's a lot of things too, and I'll mention it now. She's got a brochure and some stickers and swag like that over there. Anyone that's interested, you can come pick that up. But you've done, Neat is your brand. Mm-hmm. It's not a franchise. You hadn't paid anybody else to do it. So to me, you've demonstrated a lot of business acumen and wisdom about coming into it. Where does that kind of come from, or what do you do to, the brand building, everything that you've done business-wise? Where do you think the inspiration from that comes?
I went to Midwestern State Business Management. Just kidding. That is not where I learned anything. No, business management. No, I learned a lot through working with my dad. And the branding and all that, that's what my mom's company does. So I did learn a little bit through them. And I just found when I was branding, I just found some brands that I kind of liked how they kind of did it. The biggest thing on branding is to be very consistent. Mm-hmm. I know that blue looks really good, but we'll never wear it.
Yeah.
Neat will never have blue, because it just doesn't, or that's a little aggressive, but you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. So is there any last question, and then I think we probably can open it up to the floor for questions. What are the things that you know that you either have needed to learn that you weren't bringing to the table, or still need to, skills or people or something that you need to supplement yourself as the entrepreneur?
Yeah. So right off the bat, I need to learn to be a little bit more efficient with just my time. I understand that I'm working all day, but there are definitely times where it's like I'm just you get kind of brain fried, like just standing there talking to people all day, pointing at dumbbells, picking them up, that when I do have a 15-minute break, I literally go, rather than maybe trying to be a little bit more efficient with, okay, here's a 15-minute break, let's do X, Y, and Z. So some of that is a little challenging for me. I can admit that I do not want to do my accounting. I do not want to do my taxes. I do not want to do this. So I have hired all that out, and it has been the best thing ever. So I don't even, we communicate, once a month, and they keep me up to date and teach me what certain things are. But I'm not going to take that on. I'm not going to pretend like I know. So it's the best $300 a month I spend, right? So there's certain things that I can just say, I don't know. And, maybe one day I'll learn, but help me professionals. So.
Excellent. All right. We've got 10 minutes here or so for any questions from the floor. Paul.
Have I ever fired a client? I'm trying to remember if I fired them. No, I actually haven't. There's been one or two that I kind of wish would move on, but at the same time, I haven't had to yet. Nope, I haven't had to.
So you said your capacity, your time-wise, as far as personal training and training goes, there's two ways to increase your revenue, right? One is do more, and the other is charge.
Right.
So have you considered charging more?
I have. That has actually been one of the number one things kind of on when I first started, one product, say personal training for 2 times a week was $315 a month. Well, now personal training 2 times a week for, is 500 something. So I, as people leave, that spot that I fill is definitely more expensive than what that person just had. As far as the tricky part that I've been trying to figure out is that I have clients that I've had for a year or two, or, as long as I've literally, since the day I started, I have that client still. Yes, I probably should be. That's the one where it's like, okay, I love you, but $20 more, or whatever. And then I start thinking about it and I'm like, well, I don't want to make them mad over $20, so it's one of those, yes, it is one of those things. My classes go up, every time I add a class, that class gets a little bit more pricey. The nutrition's doubled in price since I started. So, yeah.
Any other questions? Yes. What are the issues with the management or marketing perspective that you maybe still need help with or need help with?
The number one thing and one of my number one goals right now is that I want to grow my nutrition company and my online performance coaching. I want to grow that. That's the one thing that is truly scalable. So compete, and there's a bunch of nutrition companies. There's a bunch of programming companies out there. So that is the one thing where I'm really kind of getting on Brittany, trying to figure out ideas. How do we grow this? We need to get the nutrition business larger, because I can add another Brittany pretty easy, and then they don't even have to cut. She could live in Maryland for all I care, and she could be a nutrition coach for NEAT. So that's one of the scales. Now, what do? Do we start sponsoring ads on social media, trying to get that's where that's one of the things I'm trying to figure out.
Get ideas for.
Yeah.
Well, and any other questions? If there's not, I have one. So, competition. I mean, doing fitness and training and even nutrition, and you look at the landscape, just in Abilene even, but out broader because you do online and all, is that a deterrent at all to think about competition?
No, I love to compete.
So the nature of the business is competition.
Yeah. If you think they're better than me, then they're better, but they're probably not.
They're probably not. Okay. Ron?
So who is your ideal?
Housewives. And the only reason I say that, yes. Yes. And honestly, anybody, but part of the reason that's great is one thing that stressed me out when I was going to start this is who's going to come at 1, who's going to come at 2, who's going to come at 3. Oh, and who can get there. Doctors' wives. I've got my early mornings, my 5:30 a.m. is a doctor, my 7:30 is a business owner. Well, I got barbecue owners. 6:30 and 7:30, and then so it's business owners for the morning stuff. Probably yeah, housewives have been a good one just because of their availability. I have a 12-year-old girl. I would say my average age is 35 to 45. But no, I've got a couple 60-year-olds starting next week. Yeah, no, any of them. I train my mom. My mom's 63. And she's a little, yeah, I don't care what age you are.
Kevin, you had?
if you can't afford it. Everybody else, I can work with it. I've got all the bulging discs you can imagine walking through my gym, that I did not do. And I've got a girl that's got a shoulder surgery that she just had. So we'll be scaling around that. Good for me. I've had that. I've had both my knees. So I know how to, just the years of experience of working around. My back's hurt, my hips hurt, whatever, my left toe hurts. What are we going to do? So I've worked with a lot of different people. The only thing that's gonna turn you away is if you can't afford it, and I will work with you on that. Okay, payment plans, or we need until you can, we're gonna bump you down to a certain amount of week, or maybe someone's personal training, they're willing to have an extra person in there that brings both of y'all's costs down, right? We do a lot of that too. I've had a group that started as one person that's now 3 because they wanted to work out together and have their costs come down.
Last question, Ananice.
I wish I had a business coach. I wish I had someone else that was. I haven't found one. I would like one. No, I've been reading a lot. I read a lot of books. And then I guess my business coach would be my dad. I call him. So, he doesn't know anything about how technically what I'm doing, but he just gets like business, recurring revenue, like, yeah, because I'm really pretty disciplined in a lot of the things that I do, but the one thing that I struggle with is the finding the time for the financials, and like, you got to know your numbers, you got to do this, you got to do that. So he is pretty good. Like when I call him, he'll say how, XYZ, to answer these questions for me. But so that's been a helpful thing for me. But yeah, I don't have no business coaches right now, but I would like one. Or something, if someone that's kind of doing the same thing. It's just, I know there's other personal trainers out there, but I do kind of have from what I
Some
can see,
uniqueness.
kind of uniqueness to it.
All right. Well, let's give Savannah a round of applause. Thank you so much for sharing your story and your journey so far. So.